Hello, everyone. Welcome to Rotary in the heart of California. I'm the host, Devin Thorpe, and I am so excited to have you back each month as we chat with our District Governor Jay Hislop about what's going on in the heart of California here with the Rotary organization. We're so excited to have you all. Let me bring Jay here to the stage. Help me welcome him. Thank you, Jay. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks, Devin. Great to be back. It's so fun doing this because I've gotten nothing but really positive feedback from people about our podcast, and I just hope we can continue it and see what happens. And a lot of the folks that watch it think that this is scripted somehow, and
Yeah.
I just want to give compliments to you and your ability to create something that really is a true podcast. We're here talking to each other, and there is no script.
There
Uh,
is no script.
we
We're
just
making it up on the
we just
fly.
let it run.
Yeah. Well, this is such a fun thing to do, Jay, because I think you and I share a key thing, and that is a genuine love of Rotary and the impact that it's having around the world and right in our own communities. It is such a fun way for people to be involved in making a difference, whether that passion is global, international, national, or right local. You get to do it all. So I think you and I both share that passion. You know, I
Yeah,
think I think you pointed out that there's something really fun going on up in the Sonora Tuolumne neighborhood with a Super Bowl event. Tell us a bit about that one.
yeah. I'd like to preface that with just kind of the latest movement in not latest, but one of our movements in Rotary is to try and help clubs become less siloed, less inward looking, and more outward looking into the broader community, so their own community, but also at our district, which is the heart of California, from Galt to Madera and from Mountain House to the Sierra Crest. And then to think of themselves as members of an international organization that's creating lasting impact in the world. So, in order to do that, we have 11 areas, and I'm not going to get too far into the weeds here, but we have 11 areas in our district. Each one has an area governor that works with us. And up in Tuolumne County, we've got a number of clubs, and they have an annual event, which is a breakfast on Super Bowl Sunday. And you can see on the bottom of the screen how to link to that. And it's held at the I believe at the fairgrounds in Sonora, and it includes Sonora clubs. It includes Twain Harte, even Groveland, which is a little distant, but I was with the Groveland Club last week, and they are really excited about participating in this event as worker bees. The thing about these events is they bring the entire community together, not just the community of Rotary clubs, but also community members. And I just like to put a thought in the idea of people who are not in Rotary. Find a Rotarian, any Rotarian in your town, anywhere in Tuolumne County, and ask them if you can help out a little bit at this fundraiser. They need help. These are small groups of Rotarians that put on really big events, and this one is a good example of how a community member can learn what Rotary does and become part of it, and maybe even join a club. So we're looking at this as not only being an event to bring the community together for a great party, and then they can go home and watch the Super Bowl or join with others and watch the Super Bowl, but also to see what Rotary is capable of and meet some Rotarians.
Well, it is just what I love about this in part is just what a great example of how Rotarians are able to find a way to have some fun and do some good, right? They're raising money for the local high schools, doing good, but having so much fun. This has been on now for 38 years,
Yeah, this is
right?
their 38th annual.
Happen if they're not having fun.
Yeah, and I think it's sustainable, not just because there's always Rotarians that want to be involved, but the community knows that this is going to happen and expects it and looks forward to it. It's probably one of the biggest and best events in their county. So, yeah, come on out, enjoy yourself, have a beautiful breakfast. The breakfasts are outstanding. This is not your average fundraiser breakfast. This is an excellent meal, a high quality meal that people really, really enjoy.
Oh, that's fun. That's fun. That just sounds wonderful. You pointed out something that our club, you and I are in the Stockton Club, and
Rotary Club of
our
Stockton.
Stockton Club is been leading an effort for a generation
Yes.
around reading to kids. Why don't you tell us about that project?
Yeah. Again, if I can preface that a little bit with this notion of creating lasting impact in our communities, in our world, but also in ourselves as Rotarians. We in Rotary consider literacy in our communities and in the world as one of our prime focuses. And of course, worldwide, we fund schools, we fund women's centers where children go to school, we fund through global grants, we fund the built not the building of schools, but the provision of schools with school supplies and books. In our own community, we have an event that, at first blush, people go, "Oh, how big of an impact can that be?" Rotarians and others. So, mind you, if you're not a Rotarian and you're interested in this project, go to the website, Read to Me Stockton, and we will find a way to put you into a school, into a classroom for this event. It works like this: the readers, as we call them, go purchase a book, child appropriate for the grade level that they're assigned to from kindergarten to third grade. And I usually take two books. The teachers appreciate it. You only need to take one. And then you sit down with the class and introduce yourself and tell them just a little bit about yourself, and then you read to them. You read to them in a way that animates the book, makes it fun and interesting, and the children love it. The students love it. The teachers love it. When you're done, you leave the book with the class, with the classroom. It becomes part of the classroom library, and the kids can read it. Some of the teachers have a checkout program where they can take these books home. But that's our Rotary read-in, and we have been doing that since my kids were in grammar school in the 80s. This is an amazing program, and I want every Rotarian who can possibly free themselves for a couple hours on the morning, February 26th, and also members of the community who would like to participate and come out, see what Rotary does, see the lasting impact that this has had on these children and their teachers. And you might even want to join us.
Oh my gosh, yes, it is. It's hard for me to imagine as a relatively new resident of the area, new member of the club, something that goes back so far. What 40 years that the club's been doing this now, or that's just amazing. You think about the fact that children that were read to in 40 years ago are now
Are
middle-aged
reading now.
folks, right?
Yeah.
They're nearly 50 years old. And that's amazing.
And a lot of them are our readers,
Yeah, that's
and
right. Yeah,
and I
yeah.
can tell you that I've been on campuses that are K through 8, and someone will recognize me from when they were in second grade, and they might be in sixth grade or seventh grade, and say, "Hey, I remember when you came and read to us." Yeah, I did.
That's great. And one of the fun things about this Read to Me Stockton nonprofit that was really launched by our club and now
Yeah,
operates as a fully independent nonprofit with continued support from the club. They've partnered with Dolly Parton's organization to make sure that
right.
kids are getting books regularly. An entering kindergartner now in our county typically is now getting dozens of books before they get to school, which is just
Right.
an amazing thing. Uh,
a book a month from birth to kindergarten.
yeah,
And yeah, it is an amazing program, relatively inexpensive because we're getting books for pennies on the dollar, because Dolly Parton, her foundation, donates most of the cost of it. So we're really just covering administrative costs. And I don't recall, I'd have to confirm this, but I think we have 10,000 children in San Joaquin County alone that we're
yeah,
doing this for right now.
yeah. It's
Um,
certainly on that order. Yeah.
yeah,
It
yeah.
is just an amazing, massive program, and it's just wonderful. Just
And
wonderful.
in some of these households, we have a range of poor to wealthy in our communities, and some of the households are these are the books that they have. They don't have other books. It's not in their budget to go buy a book for a 3-year-old. So these are the books they have. And we know that these children arrive at preschool and in kindergarten much better prepared than the children who do not have books in their home. So this is a program that builds leaders at the end of their educational cycle. It builds high school graduates. It builds college eligible high school graduates simply because they have books in their home from birth to kindergarten and they come to school reading ready.
Yeah, there's so much good data that shows that kids that enter kindergarten on track, get to third grade,
Yep,
reading at grade level, are infinitely more successful statistically than those who are behind by third grade. Some never
correct.
catch up.
Very difficult. It's like foreign languages. If you can learn a foreign language before you're 5, you'll probably have that language for life. If you start learning a foreign language in the 6th grade, unless you go become an exchange student or immerse yourself in another culture and learn the language in its cultural context, you're unlikely to retain it for a lifetime.
Yeah.
So yeah, early education. We know that. My wife is a retired now elementary school teacher. She taught preschool and then kindergarten and then 1st grade. And she will tell you that the kids who are reading well when they enter kindergarten and leave 1st grade reading above 1st grade level, they are the ones that are successful and go on to college. And they've even returned and become school teachers in
Yeah.
her own district.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love it. Isn't that great?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that one of the things you and I have in common is that we both are married to Gail, and both are school teachers, or retired school teachers. So another little thing in common. Listen, our district is, I think, for the first time under your leadership, doing something fun this spring. We're
Yes,
participating in 5 district conference in Reno. Tell us about
that's right.
that and why Rotarians should want to go to Reno for a district conference.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be a great conference. It's not our first multi-district conference. We did have one cruise from Long Beach to Ensenada and back. Christy Smith, our DG, our district governor nominee, was chair of that. So I think that was a 3-district conference. Very successful, very fun. And I'm not a cruise person, and I love that cruise. This conference is part of the Far West organization of Rotary districts. There are 9 of us, 9 districts in the Far West, and 5 of us are participating in what we're calling the Far West Fest. It's on May 1st through 3rd of this year, 2026, at the Sierra Grand Resort in Reno. So the Sierra Grand Resort is, yes, it's a casino, as are most hotels in Nevada, but it's not casino centric, if you mind. It is all about families coming and having a great time with offerings that people associate with any resort worldwide or a cruise ship. There are great venues in the resort. There's a full on bowling alley. There are escape rooms, where you go in with a challenge to find your way out. Lots of activities. We're going to have fabulous speakers, and we have sampled the food and the rooms. This is a newly renovated resort that is really excited about Rotary coming. on this weekend. If you've never attended a district conference or an international conference, this is a must attend event. You will meet Rotarians from all over California, Nevada, Northern California, Nevada, and it feels a lot like an international conference, but we don't have the international attendees. But this will give you a sample of what it is to be like to be around Rotarians that you don't necessarily know until you come, and you leave with lifelong friends.
Yeah, a district conference can be a delightful experience, but this five district conference really has the potential to be epic fun, as well as inspiring. And it's, I mean, the amazing speakers and relationships, right? The opportunity to connect with Rotarians from really a huge area. Just so many things come together, and the train ride to get
Yes,
there.
to get there, you can join a train, I think in Martinez or in Sacramento, and ride the train up over Donner Pass and into Reno, and then return.
And it's such
Uh,
a beautiful train ride, an amazing,
oh yeah,
beautiful.
it's probably one of the most beautiful train rides anywhere in the world. And that's how, if you choose to, you can get there. It's all on our website, the Far West Fest website, and you can register now and plan on being there. The other thing, I think, this is another example of even our district getting out of our silo, if you will, and engaging with other districts. We may not do this every year, but this is the trend in Rotary, is to do larger conferences with people from outside of your area, to join with Rotarians from all over the region, and to be inspired by what other people are doing that you might not be aware of if you're only paying attention to your club or your own district.
Yeah, it really will be fun. And I hope all of our fellow Rotarians will join us there because it is just going to be so much fun.
Yeah,
Um,
we're hoping, I think our registrations are up to around 150 right now, and we've committed to 250, so we're looking for 100 more people to sign up between now and May, and we're hoping to have about 1,000 people at this conference.
yeah.
And like I say, we'll, as we get closer to the event, we're going to start promoting the actual speakers. I don't want to do that today, but people should become prepared to be inspired.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've seen some of the speaker names, and I'm excited. It's going to be like the real deal. This is going to be
Yeah,
great. Uh,
yeah.
yeah, it'll be fun. Governor Jay, you've also called my attention to something coming up also in May officially, but really beginning now, right? We've got this Epic Day of Service. Tell us about the Epic Day of Service.
The Epic Day of Service is a Rotary affiliate. It's not yet Rotary branded. I think as time goes on, it'll receive the actual Rotary brand. So when you go to the Epic Day of Service website, you'll see this is an event sponsored by Epic Day, where they try to get every Rotary club in the world to do a project around the Epic Day, ideally on that day, but it's not necessarily on that day, to be an official participant and use the resources of Epic Day of Service and participate at the website. What it is this concept that in every community around the world, somewhere around the Epic Day, which this year I think is May 15th or 16th, um, May 16th, yeah, May 16th, there's a service project going on that's local. And that service project involves Rotarians in their community. And here's something that we've learned, Devin, and we've learned it fairly recently, I'd say in the last 5 years or so. People used to join Rotary clubs because of the prestige. It was considered the service club to join. And you joined it primarily to promote your business and to rub elbows with community leaders. Today, Rotary is much more egalitarian, and we're looking for a cross section of our communities to join Rotary. Epic Day of Service is an opportunity for people who aren't Rotarians to join us in a service project and find out what Rotary is all about. What we found, Devin, is when we invite people to our service projects or invite them to assist us with a fundraiser, they look around and they see some really good-hearted people. They see people with values that are similar to their own, and they see an opportunity to serve their communities and to unite for good, which is this year's theme. So what happens is after they contribute to this event, after they participate in the service, they say, I want to be part of that. And they find a club and they join Rotary. And they join Rotary for the right reason. They join Rotary because they see it as an opportunity to serve their community and be part of something that is global, much bigger than our communities, much bigger than ourselves, much bigger than any club. We're part of this global community of right now 1.2 million Rotarians worldwide, 200 countries. And by performing service on one day, you're part of that.
Yeah, it is just wonderful. But I think, for those who are listening, watching, participating in this discussion virtually, I think it's important for them to understand that although they would certainly be welcome to join a Rotary Club, they can participate in a service project with no obligation. They don't,
Absolutely.
it doesn't
Absolutely.
commit them to suddenly become a member of a club. They're not signing a blood oath or paying dues. They can show up and help out, right?
Yes, and we've got examples of that in some of our projects. I was at a senior dinner event recently, and about half the people who come out to work that event are non-Rotarians, and they do this every year. They they what for whatever reason they've not chosen to join a Rotary Club, but they follow this event. They're in contact with a Rotarian who runs the event, and they show up every year to help. There are people doing that in Sonora for the Super Bowl breakfast. We don't coerce, we don't have a closing pitch. We simply want people to look at us and say, wow, those are good people. I want to be part of that. What does it take to become a Rotarian? We do invite, but we don't pressure. I think if people see it as a fit in their lives, they should run to the next Rotary Club and join it. But if all they want to do is participate in occasional community service, then pay attention to your local Rotary Club and make sure that you are available for something like the Rotary Read-In or the Super Bowl breakfast in Sonora. There's lots of opportunities to serve. And that's something that a lot of the younger people want to do. People that have come from a high school service club or a college service club aren't yet ready to join Rotaract or Rotary, but they want to continue service. Look in your community for a Rotarian and ask them for opportunities to serve.
Yeah, I was inspired recently, just this month in our club, we had a 19-year-old girl. I call her a girl. She's a 19-year-old woman, but what you looking from my perspective, she's
Yeah, we're we're
girl,
we're
but
old.
but she's a 19-year-old woman that joined the club. It's been such a breath of fresh air, the energy she brings. And so, yeah, most 19-year-olds don't join clubs, but they often help out. It was thrilling to see her join with us and the energy she brings. So that's great. Jay,
Was I was in a meeting in Galt, and I won't name her name because I don't have permission to do it. But one of the members had a granddaughter who was joining Rotary that day, and it was also her 18th birthday. So at the first minute that this young woman could join Rotary, she joined Rotary. And I
yeah,
asked her, what's the story here? And she said, I've kind of been a Rotarian my whole life. My grandmother, my mom were Rotarians. I've been hanging around with Rotarians. I couldn't wait to join this club. We need more of that in Rotary. I have to tell you, Devin, if we had more late teens, early 20s, and we increase the size of Rotary worldwide by another 100,000 people or so, we're going to create even more lasting change in the world.
Yeah. One of the strongest leaders in our club is a young dentist who happened, I think, join the club almost the same time I joined our club, although I've been a Rotarian for almost 15 years. And he's proving to be, he's a young dentist, still in his 20s, just a
Yep.
dynamic leader. We're so grateful to have him. So young people are bringing such great energy. It's thrilling to have him. Jay, thank you so much for making time for this
Thank
exercise.
you, Devin.
I know you are super busy, and
Yeah,
this is just,
last week I saw six clubs. I visited six clubs for a Rotary meeting in 48 hours.
oh wow, holy cow!
It started with a lunch meeting in Turlock, and then I went up to Chicken Ranch Casino in Jamestown to spend the night. Then I was at Sonora Sunrise, and then for breakfast I was in Groveland for lunch, and I was in Twain Harte for dinner. They all threw me a very, very nice meal and a very nice visit. I went back to Chicken Ranch because it was closer than going home. Got up in the morning and went to Modesto Sunrise, which is also an amazing club, doing fabulous things and providing excellent leadership for our district. And then I got to go home and I think I napped. I became Rip Van Winkle. I think I slept for 12 hours that night.
I can only imagine. I can only imagine. Well, Governor Jay, thank you very much for being with us this month. We look forward to doing this
Thank
again
you.
next month.
Oh, yeah.